So in the today's class, we will take up the derivation of Bose-Einstein statistics. Simply it is called as BE statistics. So where this Bose-Einstein statistics is applicable, Bose-Einstein statistics is applicable to a system consisting of indistinguishable or identical particles. It is applicable to indistinguishable or identical particles. For example, if we take the quantum particles having the integral spin, this Bose-Einstein statistics is applicable. So in quantum statistics, the concept of degeneracy will appear. And in quantum statistics, for a given macro state, there are different possible microstates. Okay. So for energy state, for a given energy state, you can find a number of states corresponding to same energy. Okay. So you can find number of states having the same energy, that is called as degeneracy. And these states are called as degenerate states. Okay. The states having the same energy but a different configuration are called as degenerate states. And here you can find for given ith macro state, you can find GI number of states corresponding to the same energy. So that is what the degeneracy is understood. So there is no restriction on a number of particles to occupy a given state. You can put any number of particles in the given state according to Bose-Einstein statistics. Okay, so it will not obey Pauli's exclusion principle and other things, and you can put any number of particles in the given state. So to derive the expression for Bose-Einstein distribution function, let us consider an isolated system consisting of n identical particles. Let us take there are n number of identical particles. The number of particles in the system is very large and is constant. So according to the law of conservation of particles, the number of particles in the system is constant, and also the energy of the system is also constant. So according to the conservation laws, the total number of particles in the system is constant. How to find the total number of particles in the system? You have to take the summation of Ni. Okay. Ni represents the number of particles in ith state, in arbitrary ith state. If you sum over the total number of states, I is running from 1 to n, then you can find the total number of particles present in the system. Okay. Here capital N is the total number of particles, Ni is the number of particles in the ith state. According to conservation law, the variation of number of particles is 0. Otherwise, the total number of particles in the system is constant. Therefore, derivative of this n should be 0, because if n is constant, dn must be equal to 0. Otherwise, if you apply derivative on both sides, you will get a summation of dni, where summation runs from I equal to 1 to n, that should be equal to 0. And here Ni represents number of particles in ith state, any arbitrary state. The particles are non-interacting. The total energy of the system is also conserved. Okay. So according to the conservation law, the total energy of the system is conserved, and total energy is given by summation of EI/Ni, that is equal to total energy E, where EI is the energy of ith state.
Recording in progress.
Energy of ith state, and Ni is the number of particles in the ith state. So energy into number of particles. If there are 10 particles are there, then it will be 10 EI. That is very simple. Okay. That is equal to total energy. According to the conservation law, this total energy is also conserved. That is constant. If E is constant, then derivative of E must be 0. Also, the energy of ith state is constant. For a given state, energy is same. It is not variable. Whereas N is variable. Ni is variable. Okay, I have already discussed how this variation of Ni can be observed, etc. We have seen. So that is giving you dE is equal to summation of Ei dNi equal to 0. So these two equations, this dNi equal to 0 and summation of Ei dNi equal to 0 are called as the conservation equations in statistical mechanics. So they say that the total number of particles in the system and total energy of the system are conserved. So these two equations are necessary to derive the Bose-Einstein distribution function. So later in the later stage, we are going to use these two and we are going to multiply some arbitrary constants to these equations and we are going to add it to the Boltzmann's theorem equation. Okay, we'll come to that later. So how these particles are distributed in Bose-Einstein distribution function, we'll see. In BE statistics, all states have equal probability in accordance with equal a priori probability. Okay, so all states have equal probability. Here GI, let us take GI is the number of microstate corresponding to energy EI. That means one can find different states with same energy. You can find number of states having the same energy, and this is called as degeneracy. We will study that in quantum mechanics, what do you mean by degeneracy in detail. But for time being, you remember, if there are different states having the same energy, that is called as degeneracy. The states are called as degenerate states. Okay, so for time being, you remember that's only. So up to that point only. So we'll study that in detail if you go for quantum mechanical study. Now to find the statistical probability or thermodynamic probability in BE statistics, let us consider the distribution of Ni number of particles having the energy Ei and they are occupied in Gi number of states. And there is no restriction on number of particles to occupy the given state. Any number of particles can be occupied in the given state. And here we have considered Ni as a number of particles in ith state. Ei is the energy of ith state. Gi is the number of states present in the ith macro state. So let's consider an array consisting of Ni particles and Gi state. Already I have discussed that. Ni number of particles are there, Gi number of states are there. Okay. Now these particle has to be represented with different combination. So whatever the total different combinations are possible, we have to find. Let us represent the particles as dots and states are represented by vertical lines, sorry, horizontal lines like this. So dots are particles, this horizontal lines are states. In an array, there are total Ni plus Gi number of objects. So by how many number of ways you can arrange these objects, you have to find. So totally there are Ni plus Gi number of objects are there. Okay. Suppose the first state is fixed because there should be some lower state. Lower state must be fixed. Below that you cannot find the particle. So first object must be the horizontal line. That must be a representation of state. In this state, 3 particles are there. In the second state, 2 particles are there. In the third state, 1 particle is there. In the fourth state, 4 particles. In the fifth state, so like that it runs continuously. So the array, otherwise the arrangement of the objects must start with the state. Therefore, the other things can be arranged according to the permutation. So what are the total number of other things? If you fix this state as a first object, if you fix this state, first state is kept fixed, then remaining objects are Ni plus Gi minus 1 number of objects are there. So total objects are Ni plus Gi. If first state is fixed, you will get Ni plus Gi minus 1 objects are there. And they can be arranged in Ni plus Gi minus 1 factorial number of ways according to permutation. If there are n number of objects, you can arrange them n factorial ways. Okay, so simple, but just you have to take the factorial of that number that will give you the total number of ways you can arrange them. Simple example I will give you. Let us take two particles are there. Okay, two particles are there. How we can arrange them different ways? So, first particle, second particle. Second method is keep the second particle first particle later. Okay, andre first one particle you can interchange them. Only two ways are there. ಎರಡು way ಇದೆ. So 2 factorial. 2 factorial is 2. So that is how the permutation says. If there are ni plus gi minus 1 number of objects are there, you can arrange them in ni plus gi minus 1 factorial ways. Since particles are indistinguishable, so if you take two particles, they are indistinguishable. That means you cannot identify which one is the first particle, which one is the second particle. So basically, you will have only one way to arrange them. Therefore, we have to exclude these identical arrangements. How to exclude that? Just you have to divide it by the identical arrangements. Remember, there are ni particles which are indistinguishable. Therefore, ni factorial ways are going to be identical to one another. And the other states, that is gi minus 1 number of states, are also identical. That's why they will give you the identical arrangement. So therefore, we have to divide the total number of ways by the identical arrangements, that is ni factorial and gi minus 1 factorial. Okay. So therefore, the possible different ways to distribute ni number of particles in gi number of states, that is given by omega I is equal to ni plus gi minus 1 factorial divided by ni factorial into gi minus 1 factorial. So total number of ways divided by the identical arrangements. And here omega I represents the thermodynamic probability of ith energy state with energy Ei. This is giving you the thermodynamic probability of one macro state. There are n number of macro states are there. So what will be the total thermodynamic probability? That is given by the taking the product of omega i's. Therefore, the total number of ways of distributing n number of particles in n energy states, or the thermodynamic probability of the system, is given by omega is equal to product of omega I, where that product runs from I equal to 1 to I equal to n. So omega I is known to us. Therefore, the total thermodynamic probability omega will be equal to product of ni plus gi minus 1 factorial by ni factorial into gi minus 1 factorial. Now we have to apply this to Boltzmann's theorem. Boltzmann's theorem says that entropy S is equal to K ln omega. We have to find ln omega and we have to find the condition for the equilibrium distribution. Okay, we'll take up that. So here ni and gi are very large in number. The total number of particles and number of states are very large. Therefore, for large values of ni and gi, the thermodynamic probability can be represented simply by omega equal to product of ni plus gi factorial by ni factorial into gi factorial. Here we can neglect this number 1 because gi is very large. We can neglect this one. Okay, so compared to ni and gi, 1 is very small. Otherwise, ni or gi were very much greater than 1. That's why we can neglect this number 1. We can get the thermodynamic probability equal to product of ni plus gi factorial by ni factorial into gi factorial. Okay. Now to determine the BE statistical distribution function, consider ln of omega, because we have to apply it to Boltzmann's theorem. To get that, we have to obtain ln of omega. So ln of omega is equal to ln of this product. So product of ni plus gi factorial by ni factorial into gi factorial. Okay. So ln of product of some terms is equal to summation of ln of individual terms, because we know that ln of m divided by n is equal to ln of m minus ln of n. And product can be converted into summation. Okay, ln of m into n irudani en baritir ನೀವು ln of m plus ln of n summation ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. That's why ln of this product is equal to summation of ln of ni plus gi factorial, it is in the numerator, minus ln of ni factorial minus ln of gi factorial. We have used the logarithmic identity. Ln of m by n is equal to ln of m minus ln of n. Okay, so we have got the ln of omega equal to summation of ln of ni plus gi factorial minus ln of ni factorial minus ln of gi factorial. Okay, ln of omega is obtained. Okay, then I have obtained the same equation here, ln of omega equal to this much. Now apply the Stirling approximation, that is giving you ln of n factorial is nearly equal to n ln n minus n. Already we have derived the Stirling approximation. For large values of n, ln of n factorial is given by n ln n minus n. So just you apply here, ln of ni plus gi factorial can be rewritten as n ln n minus n. So ni plus gi into ln of ni plus gi minus ni plus gi. Okay, it is n ln n minus n. Okay, then apply Stirling approximation for this term also. You will get minus ni ln ni plus ni, because minus into minus it becomes plus ni you will get. For the last term also you apply, you will get minus gi ln gi plus gi. Okay, you can simplify it mathematically, you can do it yourself, it is very simple. Now this minus ni plus ni minus gi plus gi gets cancelled, and the remaining terms are ln omega is equal to summation of ni plus gi into ln ni plus gi minus ni ln ni minus gi ln gi. This is the terms representing ln of omega. Now we'll apply, we'll consider the Boltzmann's theorem. According to Boltzmann's theorem, the entropy of the system is related to omega by the relation S is equal to k ln omega, where k is Boltzmann's constant here. Now for the most probable distribution or for the equilibrium distribution, the entropy of the system should be maximum. Okay, so we have to find the condition for the most probable distribution. Okay, what is the most possible distribution you have to find? If entropy is maximum, the derivative of the entropy must be equal to 0. Therefore, dou S must be equal to 0. If dou S is 0, you will get k into dou of ln omega must be equal to 0. Okay, because if you differentiate this equation, you will get dou S is equal to k into dou ln omega equal to 0. Now apply the condition. We know the expression for ln omega, you substitute here. This implies that derivative of ln omega must be equal to 0. That is the condition for equilibrium distribution. Adanna haki ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, we have to find the distribution function. Now differentiating the equation with respect to ni, so dou of ln omega has to be differentiated with respect to ni partially. So here we have to take gi as a constant. We have to differentiate this equation. Derivative of this first term, it is of the form some x into y. So product rule of differentiation you have to use. You will get derivative of this first term is equal to derivative of ni plus gi, that is 1, into ln of ni plus gi. Second term is ni plus gi into derivative of ln of ni plus gi. Derivative of ln of ni plus gi is 1 by ni plus gi. That those two terms cancel, you will get 1. Minus derivative of this term is 1 into ln ni, that is derivative of ni is 1 into ln ni. Then ni into derivative of ln ni. Derivative of ln ni is 1 by ni. Ni gets cancelled, you will get 1 again. So plus 1 minus 1 gets cancelled. You will get the condition for equilibrium as ln of ni plus gi minus ln of ni into dni equal to 0. Okay. Next, we have to use the conservation laws, because this equation is in terms of ni and gi. But finally, we have to find the distribution function in terms of energy. That's why we have to introduce the energy here. And for that, we will add these two terms to this equation. Okay, after multiplying these two equations by the Lagrange's undetermined multipliers. Okay, so according to conservation equation, we have the summation of dni equal to 0 and summation of ei dni equal to 0. Now multiply this first equation by alpha, multiply the second equation by minus beta. By the method of Lagrange's undetermined multiplier, the multiplication of some constant minus alpha and minus beta respectively to the equations does not change the identity, because the left hand side, the right hand sides are zeros. Even if you multiply by any number, the equation will not lose its identity. Therefore, we can get the equation, conservation equations as minus alpha into summation of dni equal to 0 and minus beta into summation of ei dni equal to 0. Now add these two equations to this particular equation. Adding these two equations to the above equation, we get summation of ln ni plus gi as it is, minus ln ni as it is, minus alpha dni is taken common, minus beta into ei into dni. So dni is taken to be common, that is equal to 0. And here alpha and beta are Lagrange's undetermined multipliers, and they can be determined such that the terms in the bracket vanishes for each value of I. So alpha and beta has to be determined, and we have to find the values of alpha and beta so that this each and every term in the summation must be equal to 0. Okay. So therefore, each and every term must be equal to 0. That is ln of ni plus gi minus ln ni minus alpha minus beta into ei must be equal to 0. Okay, because the dni is 0 and the terms in each and every term, okay, in the bracket must be 0. Okay, then pratyond term annu 0 antare now consider ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. For each term in the bracket, that is this term itself is equal to 0. That is the meaning. Now you rearrange. So rearrangement will give you, so it is of the form ln of ni plus gi minus ln of ni. It is of the form ln of m minus ln of n. So that is equal to ln of m by n. So that is giving you ln of ni plus gi by ni minus alpha minus beta ei. Okay, equal to 0. So you rearrange again. You convert this into the exponential equation. So if you take this alpha and beta ei to the other side, you will get plus alpha plus beta ei. I can introduce one more equation here in order to understand it clearly. Okay, one equation introduce ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ. So basically you will get this is the equation you are getting. Okay. So if you rearrange, you will get ln of ni plus gi by ni is equal to alpha plus beta ei. Okay. Now this is logarithmic equation. You convert that into exponential equation. It is of the form ln of m equal to x. So therefore m equal to e to the power x. So therefore you can write this equation as ni plus gi by ni is equal to e to the power alpha plus beta ei. Now we have to find the expression for ni. Okay, ni ge expression beku. So this is ni by ni plus gi by ni. So ni by ni is 1. You take that 1 to the other side, you will get gi by ni is equal to e to the power alpha plus beta ei minus 1. Okay, therefore ni is equal to gi by e to the power alpha plus beta ei minus 1. Okay. And according to the general equation, we know that the number of particles is always equal to the available state into distribution function. And here, if you compare these two equations, this is of the form ni equal to gi into some function of ei. And that function of ei is called as distribution function. Okay. And here we have got Ni is equal to Gi into f of Ei. And therefore, if you compare these two equations, you will get f of Ei, that is a distribution function, equal to 1 by e to the power alpha plus beta Ei minus 1. And this is called as Bose-Einstein distribution function. Okay. So what we have done, we have obtained the expression for Ni, and we have compared it with the general equation. Ni is equal to Gi into f of Ei. Here in place of f of Ei, we have 1 divided by e to the power alpha plus beta Ei minus 1. So that is called as the Bose-Einstein distribution function. Okay. Therefore, Bose-Einstein distribution function is FBE of Ei is equal to 1 divided by e to the power alpha plus beta Ei minus 1. And in this equation, we can get the value of beta is equal to 1 by kT. Okay. So beta is equal to 1 by kT, where k is Boltzmann constant, T is absolute temperature of the system. In any statistical mechanical equation, you can get beta is equal to 1 by kT. That is always true. Okay. And the value of alpha can also be found as per the procedure followed in the
Recording in progress.
Bose-Einstein statistics. Okay, by the same, but here we are not going to find that alpha value. Beta is 1 by kT. Substitute here, and finally you can replace this Ei by the general energy E, and the Bose-Einstein distribution function will take the form FBE of E is equal to 1 divided by e to the power alpha plus E by kT, because beta is 1 by kT, E by kT minus 1. So this is called as Bose-Einstein distribution function. Okay. So finally, we have got the Bose-Einstein distribution function as f of E is equal to 1 divided by e to the power alpha plus E by kT minus 1. This gives the condition of distribution of indistinguishable quantum particles in given number of energy states according to Bose-Einstein statistics. This is the equation corresponding to Bose-Einstein statistics, where any number of particles can be put in a given state and particles are indistinguishable. These two conditions will be satisfied by this distribution function. The particles which obey this BE statistical distribution functions are called as bosons. You remember what are bosons? Bosons are particles obeying Bose-Einstein statistical distribution function. That is very important term, bosons. Where this is applicable, this BE statistics is applicable to the particles with integral spins. You remember this properly. BE statistics is applicable to particles with integral spin. The examples are photons, phonons, deuterons, mesons. They have integral spins. It is not applicable to particles of half integral spin. It is not applicable to electrons, protons, neutrons, etc. And they are obeying Fermi-Dirac statistics. We'll come to that later. So Bose-Einstein statistics is applicable to the particles with integral spin. And the Bose-Einstein statistics does not restrict the number of particles in the given state, or it does not obey Pauli's exclusion principle. Okay, so these things you have to remember. So where it is applicable to the particles with integral spin. The examples are photons, phonons, deuterons, mesons, etc. And these particles are generally known as bosons. Bosons means they are the particles obeying Bose-Einstein distribution function. Okay, so the application of Bose-Einstein distribution function we'll consider in the next class.